Welcome back, everyone, to Crime and Plastic. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday season. And we're back for season 2 in 2024. How was your break?
It was fantastic. I had a wonderful New Year and I had a little break from surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some exciting news.
Yes.
We are the number one
Oh my God.
crime podcast. We're the number one crime and plastic podcast in the world.
I hope so.
But we were also number one in Panama this week.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Panama.
Yeah. So we got some listeners there.
And also you said it's St. Kitts, no?
Yes. The number one podcast.
So in Panama, we're the number one crime podcast.
Right. We're like 22 overall.
And St. Kitts, we're the number one overall podcast.
We're it.
Wow.
I know.
How many people live in St. Kitts?
I don't know, but a couple of weeks ago we were number one in the Congo too.
Okay. We're international, baby.
100%.
What about you, San Rizal? How was your holidays? Did you host the holidays in your house?
I did. I hosted the holidays in my house
In her new apartment with the green floors?
with a big ass table. I think the last episode, I was stressed out. I had just had a mental breakdown. Everything is good now.
Everything is good. Her table is
My
in the
table's
apartment.
in the apartment. I just bought I hired some guy on Facebook Marketplace to make these 8-foot benches.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought he would axe murder me or not be real. So I sent someone from TaskRabbit to go pick it up. And he was real and didn't axe murder my TaskRabbit.
Well,
So
Yeah. You had some funny interactions with her task rabbits though, didn't you?
yes. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just want to say, like, the sassy man apocalypse it's an epidemic at this point. Like, I try to hire a guy to go pick up these 8-foot benches, which, by the way, like, I brought to my apartment yesterday single-handedly. Like, they must be 35, 40 pounds each. Like, take your time. You could do it.
But wait a minute,
The
you put them
guy-
in your car?
No, the TaskRabbit dropped it off, and then I had to bring them up from downstairs to upstairs, whatever. The guy who, before I hired that TaskRabbit, I spoke to another guy. He was like, well, I'd be having... Okay, mind you, the entire job was to just drive, right? So this guy's rate was like $60 an hour. And I'm like, okay, he's literally just driving from point A to point B. And then he goes, if I can expense you for gas, then I'm down. And I'm like, wait, but your whole job, like the entire job is to drive. So like, wouldn't your rate include the gas? If that's it's like your Uber driver trying to expense you for gas. It's like, that's the entire job. Do you know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
do.
So
I
then
do.
he's like, when I get there, will I have assistance? I'm like, your profile says that you're a self-proclaimed heavy lifter. What do you mean? These things cost, and I told him they're like lightweight. I'm like, they're like 30, 40 pounds. And I'm like, but yes, you sassy man, there will be assistance from the real man who made the benches. He will put it into your car. You just have to drive it. And then he's like, okay, well, so then he gives me the quote, and the task goes from $60 to $250 because he tells me he needs to expense me for gas, mileage on his car, labor, the truck itself, and something else. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, a 40-minute drive is $250. Is that justified?
No.
Okay. So I was like, goodbye, sassy man.
Is he going to expense you for the text messages too?
No, I literally was like, I'm going to
You have to pay for my phone. I'm going to
gonna-
call you when I get there.
I'm going to invoice you for this fucking inconvenient conversation.
Yeah, I think the benches themselves were less.
Yes,
right?
and the benches didn't even cost that much. I literally told him, like, sir, the benches don't cost that much. I'm sorry. Like, you think highly of yourself. I'm like, how am I going to pay your entire, like, car payment in 40 minutes?
I've never used TaskRabbit. Have you?
I've used something similar called Thumbtack, not TaskRabbit.
What do they do? They just deliver stuff?
No, they do tasks. You could like you
can
search
hire
for
them
any
for different
job that you
things.
want. Like when I hired my closet organizer,
Right.
just like I want someone to organize my closets, and
Is it-
Thumbtack had
it's
like
kind
a
of
list
like
of people.
Fiverr, kind of?
Yeah, kind of like Fiverr, but
For
this-
physical jobs.
physical, yeah,
In the real world.
in the real
Yeah.
world, yeah.
But, I mean, like, there are good taskers on TaskRabbit. You just have to find them, and it takes a lot of, like, sifting through, like, sassy men.
The sassy men have taken over.
I'm literally like, how are you a heavy lifter and you need help with 30 pounds? I don't get it.
You should have asked me. I'm
That's
very
so
strong.
true. I'm like, before I had arm lipo, I was deadlifting way more than that.
Mhm.
Right. You've
Mr.
gotten
Mr.
weaker.
Heavy Lifter.
Well, she's gonna get strong again.
Yes, you will. Your arms look great, by the way.
They do.
Thank you.
Barely
Yay.
recognize you anymore.
Oh my goodness.
I have some plastic surgery news of the world.
Okay, of the world. Let's hear it.
Well, it's really just America, but okay. Arizona doctor accused of performing botched plastic surgery while drunk.
What?
Quote, I feel like Frankenstein, close quote. The lawsuit, filed by Wendy Ellsworth and Alicia Armijo, accused Dr. Bradley Becker of performing surgeries while impaired, leaving women botched. 2 Arizona women have filed lawsuits against the plastic surgeon after they say the surgeries left them disfigured and feeling like Frankenstein.
How'd they know he was drunk?
Well, here we go. Let's see. They say it in the suit. In the suit, it accuses. Let's see. It says that
Let's
she.
see. Let me read.
Let me read. Let me read.
I gotta go. Hang on a second. I'm reading.
Well, the patient met with Becker at the Banner Estrella Medical Center preoperative room, and he reeked of alcohol.
Okay, that's how she knew.
And was visibly annoyed when she asked if he was going to mark the surgical site on her body. The markup for the surgery took about, quote, 30 seconds. Anyway, I had put my money down, and the way he was acting, there was no way he was going to give me my money back. So I just kept going.
Guys, don't do that. Don't keep going just for your money. If you have a bad feeling like that.
Right. But she said, oh, this Banner Center, there's no way they would let a drunk doctor operate on people. Wrong. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
what is wrong with these
definitely
people?
if you have your surgeon, if your surgeon smells like alcohol, pretty much any time, but especially on the day of surgery, probably better just to cancel.
Yeah, not a good look.
Okay,
You know what people need to be more empowered to do? Because it's like an awkward situation to like ask your surgeon like, "Hey, are you drunk?" We need to be more empowered to make people that are making us uncomfortable. Like, if I smell alcohol on you, and now I feel uncomfortable and weary because I'm about to go under the knife with you at the head of it. Yeah, I'm gonna now make you uncomfortable and be like, "Are you drunk at work?" Cause what the fuck?
Of course.
We need to be
Be
I'm trying-
comfortable with discomfort.
If someone's making you uncomfortable, make them uncomfortable back.
Good advice.
Why do you have to be alone?
No.
I stay making people feel uncomfortable. Like the other day I went to a photo shoot for Woxer.
What's a Woxer?
It's like a underwear brand for women. Whatever. So I went to the photo shoot. It was in downtown.
Oh, like boxers for women.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're
Got
boxers
it.
for women. Okay, so I went to this photo shoot in downtown, and this like, he could be homeless. I'm not sure. Whatever. Guy comes up to us and starts like asking us for a cigarette, and we're like, okay, we don't have a cigarette. Da-da-da. Then he starts just saying like crazy ass shit, and I'm like, okay, no, why do you get to single handedly make me uncomfortable, and I'm supposed to be like nice to you? So I tell him like, hey, like. We gave you like a run, like please leave us alone now. Like we gave you like 5 minutes uninterrupted of making us uncomfortable. Like, are you good? Like leave us alone. And then he's like, wear a bra. And I'm like, you wear a bra.
That's when you whip out the mace.
And then he said to one of the poor models, like there is like little tiny girls, like he's like, I want that one. And I was like, no, now you're done. Like now you're fucking done. And I was about to square up with this fucking crazy like Frank Gallagher dude. And then Bello, mind you, the only man there is like, and this is what I mean about the sassy man apocalypse. Like, why was I there with my cojones out and nobody else?
Yeah.
And I was like, sir. And he's like, just give me $1 and I'll leave you alone. I'm like, believe me, if we had $1 to give you to get you the fuck away, like we would have given it to you back there and then. And then he was like, I don't know, just following us down the street.
So you pay him to not harass you.
I would have if I had
Right.
cash. I'm like, do you have Zelle? Like,
That-
I'll literally Zelle you right now to leave me the fuck alone.
That's his hustle, though. His hustle is to annoy you.
Well, first he was asking for cigarettes.
Right. Well, he knew he didn't have cigarettes.
And then he's like, give me $2. I'll get some vodka and I'll leave you alone. I'm like,
Vodka for $2? Where?
well, Skull,
Rosie signing up.
Skull vodka is like $8 for a handle.
Wow.
I used to drink that
Is
in
that
college.
is that some kind of
That'll make
is
you
that some kind of
sick.
slang handle?
a
A
handle,
handle
is
of
like
vodka?
A handle is like a
Yeah.
big A handle. There's no other way to describe it. Is it a gallon?
No, I don't know. I
like
haven't
a
heard
jug.
that. Like a jug of vodka, a handle.
Mm-hmm.
I used to drink that in
Cool.
college.
Cool.
Did it make you sick?
Of course it did.
It's
It was $8.
burning my throat just thinking about
It
it.
really toughens you up to like you really can't like there's nothing like nothing worse could happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Been drinking a handle of $8 vodka.
Welcome to America.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Do we have a story today?
We do have a story today.
Is it a good one?
It's not a good one.
Oh.
It's a bad one.
Oh.
This guy is a really not good person. He's a-
Okay.
so just as a trigger warning, there is sexual assault, sexual violence in this story. Some of it is pretty graphic, and yeah, it's really he's a really, really disgusting human being.
Well, I mean, that's what true crime is all about. There's going to be some
yeah.
not nice things.
Yeah. So Carlos Guzman Garza, he had a dermatology clinic in San Francisco called Derma Clinic. And
What?
Sounds legit.
I
Derma
went to a
clinic.
derma clinic
where?
Where?
in Miami.
Well, this one was in San Francisco.
But maybe it's like are they
Could be a
is it
chain.
franchise?
Could be
I
a
don't think so.
franchise.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
What year was this?
This happened around circa 2010
Okay.
to 2012. So, and at this clinic, he did plastic surgery procedures. He told patients he was a plastic surgeon, but really, I don't really know what his background was because it doesn't say in the court documents, but he was not a licensed physician in California.
Mhm.
And really, he just stole the identity of a physician assistant who had a similar name.
No.
And he just took the guy's name and opened this clinic. And he said that, I'm not sure if he claimed to be a physician or a plastic surgeon. I think a plastic surgeon because he did surgery.
Right.
But he used his physician assistant's name, and he said another doctor like managed the clinic, but no other doctor managed the clinic. It was just his whole scam. And
In San Francisco.
in San Francisco. And he basically preyed on migrants from not from Central America.
Mhm.
And so he kind of a vulnerable community. He so originally he was charged with 4 counts of practicing medicine without a license, but then as his news story broke out, more and more victims came forward. So he was eventually charged with 9 victims, and the 10th one was the identity theft that he did, the physician assistant who he stole his identity.
Right.
So in 2010, one of the victims, she was searching for a doctor to perform liposuction on her abdomen and an eye lift. She got quotes from doctors in the area, and then she was referred to Guzman Garza, and he agreed to perform the procedure for $3,000. So that fee was a lot lower than the other quote she got, so she chose
Red
him.
flag number 1.
Then, this is a big red flag. He picked her up from her house, drove her to the office for surgery. Guys, doctors don't do that. They don't pick you up from your house. And then
This
He-
doctor doesn't even have a car.
he had her, then during the procedure, he had her hold her own IV bag. He
Red flag number 3.
smoked a cigar while performing the surgery.
Big red flag number 4.
That's not even a red flag. That's just like red. Like
That's just like, yeah, that's,
that's not like a warning.
like
that's
game over.
Yeah, that's a game over.
yeah. There's a lot of things wrong with smoking during surgery.
Well,
While you're performing the surgery, and if there's any like oxygen in the room or anything like that, it's
it's a fire hazard.
it's a fire hazard. It's a horrible,
This is like
and
not
it's dirt,
sanitary.
and it's dirty. Then a few days after the surgery,
And she's awake. That's another thing. That's like
Yeah.
another like
yeah,
okay, if you're gonna be like a scumbag and like smoke a cigar while you're doing surgery, like you have to have like the biggest balls ever to do it while your patient, she's awake and seeing you do that.
mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy. Because you have to be awake to be holding her
Yeah.
IV bag the whole time.
Yes. Yes.
Then a few days after the surgery, he shows up at her house, and he has 6 pounds of fat that he said he removed during the liposuction procedure to dump down her toilet. What the fuck?
Why her toilet?
No, because it costs money for biohazard waste. It's expensive. But it is expensive, Rosie.
It is,
But
but
why her toilet?
and why a few days later? What was it doing
I
for a
don't
few
know.
days?
And why didn't he just like bury it or something?
Could have buried it.
And then he also, when he came to the house, he also treated the victim's daughter for acne with a series of injections to her face. And the victim's abdomen soon became infected. She was forced to see another doctor for follow-up. And I think and then the acne treatment that he gave was actually like a skin irritant for her daughter.
Mm.
Then
How about the eyes, though? Are the eyes okay?
they didn't say.
I'm disturbed.
Mm-hmm. Then this is,
What the fuck?
yeah,
This is actually because like
and that's like the
we've
better
heard a lot of shit, and like this is like the most like outrageous like back to back to back to back like
story. I
you
know.
do to one person like hold your own IV bag, pick her up, smoke a cigar, dump fat in her toilet.
Mm-hmm. Horrible. So then,
What's going on?
It's unusual.
Yeah, like very weird.
okay, so this is this story now has the sexual assault in it, and I'm reading from the court documents, and it's pretty graphic. So Miriam P. consulted with Guzman Garza, and she, believing that he was a licensed physician, decided to have him perform buttock augmentation. So for her initial treatment, she had a prep treatment. Guzman Garza took her to what looked like a hotel room, had her remove her clothes from the waist down, marked her body with his pen, and gave her an injection. 2 weeks later, Guzman Garza picked Miriam up at her home. He told her he was going to perform the buttock augmentation procedure and gave her 2 pills he said were to help her relax. Minutes later, Miriam started to feel very dizzy and went into a state where she said she was out of it. As Guzman Garza drove, Miriam testified her body felt heavier and heavier. I felt like I was in a place where I shouldn't be. They arrived in an office with a hospital-type bed and things that one would expect to see in a clinic. Miriam was very, very dizzy and couldn't pay attention, focus on anything. At Guzman Garza's direction, she removed her clothing below the waist. Guzman Garza did not give her a gown to wear. When Miriam was face down on the bed, Guzman Garza injected anesthetic in her buttock. It caused some numbness in the area. Miriam was still feeling really bad from the pills, like she was up in the clouds. Guzman Garza took out a needle-like instrument about 8 to 12 inches long, inserted it in the skin above Miriam's buttock, and started removing it to loosen the top layer of skin. This was very painful. Guzman Garza then used a syringe to implant gel in the opening he had created. Miriam experienced lots and lots of pain, but Guzman Garza told her to stop exaggerating and said the sensation was normal. After Guzman Garza finished with the syringe, he touched Miriam's vaginal area and put his fingers inside her vagina. Miriam asked him what his problem was, why he was doing that, and he told me that that was something that I was going to like to calm down.
No.
Guzman Garza continued touching her, then turned her over onto her back. At that point, Miriam saw that his pants were down. She tried to push Guzman Garza away, but he climbed on top of her with one knee on her chest and the other on the bed. Miriam was still very dizzy from the pills. She felt she had no strength and things were moving slowly, and she said no. Guzman Garza... This is horrible. I don't even want to continue. Guzman Garza put his penis near her mouth and said it was something she was going to like. Miriam resisted, but he inserted his penis into her mouth, then into her vagina. Miriam was feeling even worse and just had no strength left to resist. After a few minutes, Guzman Garza got off of her. Miriam was uncertain how long the incident lasted because she was under influence of medication.
Were there no other nurses or anything in the building or in the
No,
room?
he just brought her themselves. It was horrible. And
Oh my God. I hope this man dies.
I agree.
Like burns.
Yeah.
Ew.
So that was horrible. Yeah.
There's a third patient?
There's a third patient. There's really
No.
9 patients, but these are the 3 that are in the court documents.
This is disgusting. Like,
So he raped her.
He raped her, and then
And he also injected silicone or some gel or something in her butt.
he raped her, and then for the next patient, Guzman Garza performed a buttocks augmentation on Marilyn C. The procedure involved a series of 5 or 6 injections of a filler substance over about a month. To prepare her, Guzman Garza had Marilyn C. remove her pants and underwear. Guzman Garza applied an anesthetic cream or injection to her buttock. She normally fell asleep during the treatments. While he injected the filler, Guzman Garza would touch the outside of Marilyn C.'s vagina. The touching was really sustained, not quick. Guzman Garza said this was a necessary part of the procedure. On another occasion, he digitally penetrated her vagina while he applied a cream for a vaginal infection. Again, he told her it was part of the medical procedure. So, yeah, the prosecution introduced 2 photographs depicting a finger inserted into a vagina. So he took pictures. The pictures were taken with Guzman Garza's camera the same day he used it to take identifiable photographs of Marilyn C.
Ew.
And then
How old is this guy?
50.
Ugh.
But like after, okay, so the first person that or the second person you read, what year was that?
This was, I think it all happened. He was arrested in 2010, so it happened I think a little before then.
Mhm.
I'm just surprised that like.
So he was
I don't-
charged
like,
with
how
with
was he able to do this so
treating-
many times?
treating people without a license and
Sexual
assault,
Yeah.
which is rape, right? And that's the same crime.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
with rape and sexual assault because for these two the thing is, I told you people didn't come forward till after,
Oh.
and he was sick. Like for some of them, he told them that it was part of the procedure. Like when he was putting his finger inside her, he said that it was part of the procedure that they were doing for the buttock augmentation.
But there should always be a female or somebody in the room.
Yeah, he wasn't even a proper doctor. I don't know. I couldn't find anywhere
How did he
in
get
my
those
research
pills?
how he got the pills. Like if he actually had any, medical background, maybe from a different country. Like I don't know who this guy is.
Right.
I don't know anything about him. But he was convicted and he was
Good.
sentenced 20 years.
Good.
God, he should literally be like.
Yeah. But then the crazy thing on his appeal, the chutzpah, he had the nerve to claim that like because they signed consent that they couldn't, because he was charged with assault and battery, and battery is basically like a touching without consent.
Right.
So he tried to use the consents from the procedure as a defense for the battery because he said he got consent to touch them. But like the whole consent was fraudulent because they thought he was an actual doctor. I was like, who are your
Even if
Lawyers.
he was an actual doctor,
Yeah.
that's not like in the like. That's
no,
not, like,
I'm not saying not the sexual, like just the bad, like because
You're not allowed to touch somebody else without their permission.
Yeah,
But you can't get that permission under false pretenses.
right, like for the surgery
Right.
itself, there's like he was using. They were saying that's a battery, and he was saying no because they
Oh.
consented.
not
The
so-
sexual assault, that's obviously
Separate.
that's separate.
There's no
but
consent form for that.
No,
Yeah.
but can you imagine that he tried to say the consent for the fake doctor that you are is a defense for the battery charges for the
I hope
surgeries?
this guy has like the worst time in prison. Like I hope
Yeah, he's just
he receives like tenfold of what he did.
that
in
was
prison.
that was
How
Like-
do I get into
But that was The-
contact with his cellmate?
I
You
don't
wanna-
know.
the court didn't buy that argument, did it?
No.
Okay. So
no.
he's rotting in prison right now.
Yeah, he lost his
presumably.
appeals. He was 20 years in prison, which I don't even think is enough. Really, out of all the stories that we've read, this one was the worst one.
This is like
I
very
was
disturbing.
it was really, it's hard to read, hard to know, he's bad enough that it was like he was luring people to do surgery,
That he
to
wasn't
make money that he wasn't
qualified.
qualified, but then he was also just doing it to sexually assault victims too. He's just
Well, so I guess the lessons from the story, like how do you protect yourself from something like this?
No, that's not the lesson. The lesson is that he should die. Oh my God,
Obviously,
I
he
hate
should
this.
die.
This
But
is
the question is,
disgusting.
how do you
should
protect
always
the public from this?
you should always look up your doctor. Every state has license lookup, so you could always verify whether your doctor's licensed.
Yeah, but this guy stole somebody's ID. So and they don't have pictures on the.
But even then, he wouldn't be
state
allowed to
websites.
perform surgery if he was a physician assistant.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so look your doctor's license up.
Yeah.
There should always be someone in the room.
Always, yeah.
Always.
Yeah, doctors should not pick you up from your house or take you to hotel rooms or,
No.
anything like
Or
that.
dispose of your fat in your toilet.
Yeah.
Or smoke a cigar.
Or smoke a cigar.
You shouldn't
Or
be
ask-
holding your own IV
Yeah.
bag during
Yeah.
surgery.
Like, if you can't afford the fucking metal rod that holds the IV bag, you're in a bad situation. Like, if your doctor can't afford that,
Right.
you're in a bad
no,
situation.
he's just a horrible man, and he took advantage of vulnerable people who, it just disgusting.
Also, like, where do people get this, like, idea to, like, without any prior training, cut people open and inject, like, foreign substances?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
do they YouTube it? Like, how the
There
fuck?
wasn't even in 2010, like, YouTube wasn't such a thing to have all that information, was
Like,
it?
What?
I don't think so.
Like, where do you get this idea? Like,
I don't
this-
know. And I couldn't find any information about him. Like, if he was trained, like I said, in another country, if he had any medical training, where he just kind of popped up in his 40s in San Francisco. And that was it.
decided this was his new
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Well,
Horrible,
That was a-
horrible story, horrible man.
Sleep
I'm
with one eye open,
I'm-
Carlos.
Yeah, I don't even think 20. I mean, it is probably the longer sentences of the cases that we've talked about, but it's still not enough.
right.
I read he got convicted on 33 felonies.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that only amassed to 20.
yeah. He was
Years.
facing up to 36. I think he should get life.
Did he plead or did he go to court? Did he go to trial?
He went to trial.
Really?
Yeah,
What
a
is-
jury convicted him.
Wow. Good. Should have been more. How much did the guy who killed his wife get? Remember the guy pushed her out of a plane?
He got 20.
He got 20. I mean,
No, I think he got 20 to life, didn't he?
Yeah, 20 to life because he didn't get parole.
right.
Yeah,
'Cause
he
he-
didn't get parole because he confessed at his parole hearing.
What is wrong with him?
Yeah, that dude.
But still, that didn't bother me as much as this guy.
No, this guy is terrible. This is definitely the worst.
No, because this guy would have kept going. Like
Yeah,
there
he
was
would-
like it,
Yeah.
if it wasn't caught for the license,
Yeah.
he could have kept going.
And he gave him, he was doing stuff to them as they knew it was happening, It was like such a sick, like giving them pills to not be able to do anything, but to still know
Yeah.
what was
it's
going
not
on.
good.
It was just, disgusting.
Bad.
Carlos Guzman Garza, we all hope you die. A horrible
in
death.
a terrible way. Like,
Horrible death.
the same way that, like, Bulger died. Like, rip out his eyeballs. Like,
Disgusting. Disgusting.
if not worse.
How did Bulger die?
Didn't they, like, rip out his eyeballs? Didn't they gouge out his eyeballs in prison? Whitey Bulger?
Did they?
Because
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
the he
Yes,
Right,
because
the
he was
right.
a
the
rat.
rat.
He was
Yeah.
a rat.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Well.
All right. Well, this is your sad, horrible story of crime and plastic this week. It's not. Yeah.
Can we like end on a happy note?
No.
No.
The vibes are bad.
No, a happy note.
I hope that guy really, like, has the worst time in prison. Like, I'm about to find out who his cellmate is.
This was a really horrible story. I hated sharing it. I actually came across it not thinking it was gonna, just said a fake plastic surgeon. I thought it was gonna be
The
That-
usual.
not as disgusting as it ended up being as I was reading about it yesterday. So that, there you have it. Next week we'll be back with another less terrible story, I hope. Do we have any updates on Tom?
Ooh.
Last I had seen,
By the way, Tom is the plastic surgeon who killed his lawyer, his
Allegedly.
his
Counsel.
opposing counsel.
Allegedly.
Allegedly killed his opposing counsel has it been a year already? Yeah, it was last March, wasn't it? Almost a year ago.
it was like, yeah, March.
And he's on trial for the death penalty here in Florida.
Mhm.
I thought I saw that his trial is at the end of January.
Oh, wow.
Really?
They set a trial date.
Either that or
That's
that was
moving
the pre-trial
fast.
conference.
That's moving fast then.
No, well, didn't he waive his right to a speedy trial? Oh, wait, no. Yeah, he waived his right
Yeah.
to a speedy trial.
You don't want a speedy trial when you're on the when you're facing death, I think.
Maybe there isn't a trial. It
Wait,
may
is
be
there-
a
what's the
pre-trial
opposite of a speedy
Yeah.
trial?
Can we slow roll this
Can we
trial?
slow roll? Maybe like in 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's do that trial.
Okay. Maybe next week we'll have an update for you guys on Tom's case. That's been a developing story here in Florida.
Fucking Tom.
All right. Well, this is
Sassy man. Apocalypse.
That's another sassy man. Because like, how are you so sassy that you have to go kill your opposing counsel? Like, just hire a better lawyer, Tom.
Yes, than
Or
yourself.
hire a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Well, he didn't like the first two. Like so so sassy. Like you're losing, so you have to go kill him. Like so sassy. Can't take a no.
All right. Well, welcome back to Crime and Plastic. This is going to be new year, new episodes coming out, and we're excited for you to keep listening. And don't forget to send in your listener tales so we can share them with everybody. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.